Hello everyone and welcome to our second brown bag of the series. Before I start, I would like you to ask if you have any questions. You can always add them to the Q&A section and we will answer the questions afterwards, after the presentation. First of all, here is a list of all brown bags that we are going to give or already given. You don't have to remind them all. If you follow b.ignited on LinkedIn, you can always find the upcoming reminders and we will spam you enough to remind you of the next upcoming brown bag. My name is Dimitri Jambers. I'm your speaker of today. I'm a full stack tester and performance tester at b.ignited for 10 years. So if you have any questions about that, you can always ask them later. I don't do it by myself. I have a wonderful team of other colleagues who join me in performance testing. You can find their LinkedIn codes here on this slide and afterwards in the presentation as well. A small recap about last week, about last topic, brown bag. It was all about performance testing. And if we talk about performance testing, we most of the time talk about CPUs, servers, even response times, databases, etc. It's all technical, but performance testing is not always technical. It's also a business value, as I show here on this slide. If you talk about business performance testing, you talk about revenue protection, customer trust, risk management, cost optimization, even growth strategy. All of these topics will come back later on in the presentation where we talk about all different types of performance testing. We will see that revenue protection is something we do in load testing, etc. But it will become more clear in the next upcoming slides. If we talk about load testing is the most used one of them all. There are, as you can see, I have numbered them. There are 7 types of performance testing we are going to discuss today. So what is load testing? Load testing is all about see if everything works on an expected load. So if you expect, let's say we are an e-commerce website during a Black Friday and we want to launch something, let's say we want to sell some washing machines, and we notice that our website is not responding in the 2 seconds as we expect, but it's responding in 5 seconds. This immediately drops some conversion rates and leads to some customer loss. So if we talk about load testing, which answers can they always ask? Business questions. So let's say like, can we safely launch our marketing campaign? Are we meeting our performance SLAs? What is the risk of revenue loss during a peak traffic? Another good example is when you do performance testing, even load testing. An online web store expects around 10,000 concurrent users during a sales event. But during the load test, we found out that if we run the test with 7,500 users, the response times doubles up. Without testing, this would become only visible during the event itself, resulting in direct revenue loss and potential brand damage. In that sense, load testing is essentially assurance against predictable traffic peaks. The next one is stress testing. Stress testing is all about going beyond the expected load. So imagine that you want to test something and you want to see if everything works. And a good example is when you consider a ticket sale for a very popular concert, let's say like the ticket sale for a concert of Taylor Swift. I'm not a Swiftie at all, but let's just within minutes, hundreds or thousands of people attempt to buy a ticket. If the system crashes, frustration immediately rises, quickly followed by negative media coverage. Nowadays, think about the post on Facebook, LinkedIn, and you will lead some reputational damage. Stress testing can help you answer these questions like, what is our real maximum capacity? What happens if we suddenly go viral? Let's say like the ticket sales of Taylor Swift. What is our reputational risk? And most importantly, the biggest question we need to ask, how does the system fail? A well-designed system should not collapse completely, but degrade gracefully. For examples, activating waiting queues, temporarily limiting certain features, informing users about delay. There is excuse me, there's a huge difference between a total system failure and a controlled slowdown. If you manage the customer trust, if you want to manage customer trust, it's better than say we issue some problems, we are fixing it, we are fixing it, instead of just going down and your system crash entirely. The next one, spike testing. Yeah, think about marketing campaigns, push notification, or even media exposure like today, or video that we are recording now, that can create a sudden spike in your traffic. A good example of this is a bank launching a new saving campaign. We all want to save money. So a new savings campaign and sends a push notification to, let's say, around 500,000 customers. Within seconds, thousands of those customers try to log in simultaneously. What will happen if we don't do any spike testing? This may cause some timeouts, frozen applications, even overloaded login systems. The result of that, customer experience immediately frustrated during an important commercial business event. For the business, spike testing is essential to launch campaigns within confidence. It turns marketing and IT into partners instead of opposing forces. Soak testing. This is not as popular as most people know because it takes a long time. Why? Soak testing focus especially on the long-term support, so the long-term system sustainability. Many issues do not appear after a peak or a load test, but after days or weeks of even usage of the system. Think about memory leaks, resources not being released, batch processes that go slowly. Think about organizations who provide 24/7 services like insurance or even logistics platforms. Think about a harbor where everything works 24/7. If suddenly something goes down, and an instability can lead to a direct operational disruption. If you see at the business benefits of soak testing, it can include fewer incidents, fewer nighttime escalations, lower support costs, better predictability of your system that can crash. So what is the most important thing about soak testing? Stability is invisible when everything works, but extremely visible when everything fails. The next one is about scalability testings. Think about, most companies nowadays, they aim for growth. It's logical. So think about doubling your customer base, expanding internationally, launching maybe even a new digital service. The key question we need to ask when doing scalability testing is not, can our system handle this, but what is the real cost of our growth? So what I mean by that, if you want to, what can scalability help you doing testing is how much additional infrastructure is required if you want to grow maybe 2 times or 5 times. Are these costs linear or expansionally? And maybe another question is, do we need to change something in our architecture that can be answered by using scalability testing? A good example is maybe a company that is planning an international expansion. During testing, it reveals that the database become a bottleneck after a 3-time growth. By identifying this early before we invested and we grow, the company can invest in a new database or a new setup before customers are impacted by the system. Next one is all about volume testing. Nowadays, we cannot think about data. Data is growing more and more and even faster than the number of users. Think about some customer history, transactions, reports, logging data. What I want to say is, like, say we have a CRM system that performs well with 100,000 of customers, but may become slow when handling 5 million records. For the business, this can lead to slow reporting, delayed decision-making, reduced employee efficiency. So volume testing helps you prevent data growth from turning into a performance issue. Last but not least, it's about capacity testing. This is a very important slide because nowadays, most of the companies are working on cloud environments. cloud environments make it very easy to scale. But there is also a risk about it. It can be also very expensive. Think about over-provisioning your infrastructure. That can lead to unnecessary costs. Then, or the other way, under-provisioning your resources that can cause some performance issues. There is that capacity testing can help you find the optimal balance between the performance, the risks, and the costs. It turns performance management into a financially informed process rather than a technical guess, because we can guess, we maybe want to upscale this, and this, but this will not save your money. But capacity testing can save your money by just seeing that everything is enough, that you don't over-provision or under-provision something. So another slide and a little review about what I just said is performance testing is not a technical luxury. It's not a one-time activity before going live. It is a strategic instrument for helping you protect your business continue, enabling growth, keep costs under control if you use the scalability testing and things like that. And it can even help the business continuation. So to help you continue with your business. The real question is not should we do performance testing, but how many risks are we willing to take without testing it? So this was all for today. So if you have any further questions about your performance journey, you can always contact one of my two managing partners shown on this slide. I added their LinkedIn code, so you can always follow them on LinkedIn. I would like to thank you all for joining me today on the Brownbag. If there are any questions, we will answer them now. And if your question remains unanswered, we will answer it afterwards in a LinkedIn post or maybe send you a private message. Thank you all for joining.
At the moment, we do not have any questions. So if there are any questions, please post them now. And if not, we will all wish you adieu.
There are no questions, so I would like to thank you all for listening and join us on our next Brownbag. It's scheduled within 14 days of now. So see you all there. Bye bye.